really believe that 2 + 2 = 6 with us. I think we both know that. There's something in my eye. I'm not crying, I swear. Hey, I'm Tucker.
And I'm Sophie, and we're SOFI Tucker, and you're watching Billboard News. We are here with SOFI Tukker. Guys, welcome to the studio. Thank you for coming in. I'm really excited about your new album. I think it's fantastic. I think it's fun and it's playful and it's sexy and it's sophisticated and it's many things. And I'm wondering when you guys knew that it was time to get back into the studio after the last one that came out in 2022.
The truth is we never stop going into the studio. So we're just always making things, and like for instance Woof, which is one of the songs on Bread, we made before we even finished the last album, What Tennis, and we just couldn't figure out it. It had so many different versions of the song, and then finally we got it right for this album. We're kind of always in the studio, always making things, and then once we feel like the songs are telling a story, or the songs are like, oh wait, there's something cohesive here that feels like they need to belong together, then we make the album.
What story do you feel like you landed on, and what story does this album tell?
I think this album tells like a return to who we are when we started. Like when we started, I had just finished playing basketball, we were in college. Sophie was a jazz musician playing mostly Brazilian music. I was into house music, playing house parties. She brought everything from her world and I brought everything from my world, and we just kind of mashed them together. And I think we went into that harder and deeper than we've ever done before.
There was a song, Perfect Someone, that basically Tucker was listening to like a 1960s jazz song, and he brought it into the studio and he was like, I think we have to make something with this. Can you write a melody kind of in this, the guitar was doing this really cool melody, could you kind of write lyrics to match it? We ended up finishing the song and we just felt like, whoa, the next album we do, this is the blueprint for it. There's something about this song that just is the album. And
you could like see the aesthetic listening to it. You could like feel it. And the interesting
like
part
this is what we saw. We were like, oh, suddenly it all makes sense.
Wow.
And then everything else that came after it kind of went around Perfect Someone.
You had a vision.
Yeah. The other thing is that we actually spent 3 months in Brazil last year, and Brazil has been an inspiration since the beginning of the band, but this time actually being in Brazil, and this time Tucker really getting it and spending a lot of time there, I think it made us feel like we returned to our roots very literally.
I feel like Brazil's always kind of been the third member of this group in a way. I'm wondering like what you getting Brazil looked like and then how it informed what you were making down there.
Tucker got really into baile funk music, which is a totally new genre for me, and I didn't even know like very much about it. Yeah,
that's why you had to leave.
Of course,
yeah, because I was like, I don't know.
She brings me to Brazil, and I fall in love with the one genre she doesn't even like. but that's how we work.
I've had a change of heart.
When did Bread become sort of the thesis statement, if you will?
Well, it started with the song Bread.
Yeah.
We wrote the song and we were like, this is just, first of all, who doesn't love bread? You know, we were looking at the track list and we were just like, every time we saw that song title, we were happy. And the song was actually written about a book called The Purity Myth. I don't know if you know about this book, but basically it's about how, you know, this idea of virginity and purity is so harmful to women. And, you know, that like the less we have experienced pleasure, actually the more value we have. Like it's just not okay.
Right.
Anyway, so we wrote the song Bread about just like owning your appetite, you know, sexually for food. And it's also a symbol for abundance and sort of owning that as a woman as well.
I get off, you get out, I eat bread.
Because we also don't want to be like preachy when we're saying things that we really want to say. We also want it to feel fun and light because that's what people often go to our music for.
Yeah.
But there is sort of a lot of meaning there. And we had a more serious title, working title for a long time, and it felt like we were missing the fun in it. And for us, it's so important to, even if we elevate and want to go make a more sophisticated album, we don't want to take ourselves too seriously. And that's something we've always sort of had as like an important part of, I think, our personalities and just how we work as a group. Like this, for example, we really wanted to make an incredibly beautiful piece of art, and we got to work with a photographer named Rob Woodcock, who makes like amazing movement photography with dancers. But we were like, how can we make that weird and fun still, with elevating it and making it beautiful and fashion and elegant. And so that was where we were like, okay, well, if she's wearing a bunch of bread, it'll like at first just look beautiful, and then you'll be like, wait, what the hell is going on?
Right. The collaborators on this album, a small but mighty crew, MC Bola, am I getting that right? Channel Trace and Kygo. How did you land on these three like powerhouses in their own right?
It really depended on the song, but you know, we wrote the song Wolf with Kygo like 3 years ago.
I think it might have been 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
It was before the pandemic. The first version of that song was before the pandemic. Sorry to say.
Wow. This album has been 5 years in the making. Wow.
Yeah.
And then Channel Trace, we were watching his performance at, what festival was that? Electric Forest.
He was at Electric Forest,
Yeah, and we were just blown away. I mean, his performance was so great.
He's the all-time coolest.
He's
There's no
the
one cooler
coolest
than that guy.
dude of all time.
Yeah.
And anyway, then he watched
Crazy.
our show, and like we just hung out afterwards, and we were in the green room. We were just like loving each other, you know, like we were just like, your show is so good. And he's like, your show is so great. And we're like, oh, we just love each other so much.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of similarities between his show and our show, because he like performs dance music live. Like there's dancers, there's choreo.
There's not that many of us.
That's
There's
so
like
true.
a performance with it.
Yep.
And there really aren't that many of us.
And then basically we were in Rio. I was with my Portuguese professor from college, and I was lying in her lap, and she was doing cafuné in my hair. And cafuné is just, it's one of those words in Portuguese that can't be translated to any other language.
Okay.
And it just means like lovingly, you know, putting your fingers through somebody's hair.
Aww.
And so I was with her doing that, and I was also with this poet, Chacal, who we've been working with since we started the band. And I was like, cafuné is my favorite word in the Portuguese language. And he was like, done, we're writing a song. And so he wrote the poem, and then we recorded it. It was really quick. And we were like, something is missing about this song. And so we just sent it to Channel Trace. And he sent it back almost immediately. It was just one of those things that happened really quickly. And it's perfect, because in the song, he's asking me like, wait, how do you pronounce that again? Like, what's that word again? He's just like defining the word. The whole song.
Right.
And it's one of my favorites. It's so fun.
Okay, I feel like there's one more person I need to mention right now in terms of collaborators, because the Heidi Klum cameo in the video is epic, and it looks like you guys were having so much fun. How did she get in the mix?
We met her at Fashion Week in Paris, and we bonded because I was born in Germany. And so we started speaking German. Turns out she'd already been to some of our shows. She started just taking videos of herself dancing to our music and tagging us. We were like, wow, Heidi is the nicest person ever. This is crazy. And so
She's just contagious.
She's-
She's so fun. We were like, that would be the best video ever. Why isn't that our music video?
So we were
You
like,
know?
hey, would you do a music video with us where you just dance around? Because we just want to watch this.
Sure.
And she was like, yeah, but only if you're in it too. And so we were like, okay, let's do it. But also I think, you know, there's just not that many examples of older women who are totally owning their sexuality.
Sure.
And I think for me, just being around that, I'm just like, this is really heartwarming and awesome, because I don't want to, you know, feel like my sexuality will decline when I'm getting older.
Absolutely.
And she proves that that doesn't have to happen.
So the Hey Homie video.
Hey homie, let me love you low-key.
The song is so sweet, but I feel like the video really brought the whole thing to another level, because it's really about your long-term relationship as friends, and it seems like a tremendous amount of affection for each other. You guys have been doing this for 10 years now.
The song's not written about our relationship.
Yeah.
It was written about like separate personal relationships we both had at the same time of making the song that we were kind of pulling from.
And we kept looking at the footage and just being like, I wonder if we should just make this about us. And then we'd be like, no, people are gonna misinterpret that and take it the wrong way. And we're like, but who cares, you know? It
Sure.
just, And when we made it about our relationship, and we brought in found footage over the last 10 years into the video, it just felt so right.
What do you admire most about each other?
I'm gonna make Tucker go first.
I love that we say all these nice things about each other and then get so hiccuped on this question.
I know.
It looks so bad.
I would say probably his sense of community. Like, he's really good at bringing everybody together and just making sure that everyone feels invited and that there's a crew and a vibe.
I love being around people. It's so fun. It energizes us, it inspires us.
Right.
We're lucky we have amazing crew around us. And it's ever growing.
Sure.
So what do you admire around me?
Yeah, exactly.
I was changing. I was checking. Maybe they'll forget the question. Okay. I admire many things about Sophie. She just does everything she possibly can to be her best self. Like, physically, she's waking up to get a workout in. She's sober. She's, making sure she's taking care of her mental health. Like, she's doing everything she can to be the peak,
Sure.
execution.
Sure.
And I think, one, being in a group with someone like that is best case scenario. Not only because it rubs off on me, but also because it's a good person you can trust. They're gonna, be
Sure.
there and show up, and yeah, I think that's a good one.
I think that's a really nice
Great
answer.
one.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Okay,
great
great.
answer.
I'm curious about how you see this continuing to evolve.
We have goals, and we had goals, and then we surpassed some of those, and then you just keep making new ones. And I think we're the type of people that we're kind of workaholics, and we'll keep making new goals so that it's always kind of feeling like we're going somewhere. And I like living that way personally.
Yeah, I kind of hate the word workaholic just because it has such a negative connotation. But the truth is, we just love what we do so much. And I would say the most important goal to me is loving the process. Like, waking up every day and just being so excited to do what we do.
Now that the album's done, what does it look like? What kind of show are you putting together? And how will it be different from the last run?
We haven't done our live show in about 2 years, so we're really excited to bring that back. We've been doing mostly DJ sets and festival DJ shows in our residency in Las Vegas. So when we made our last album, Wet Tennis, it was during COVID, and we made a lot of the songs without performing in mind, because we didn't even know if we'd be able to perform them when we were making them.
Sure.
And this one we made while we were touring again, so it was more like songs we'd get really excited to be playing every night, and songs that we feel like will unify the crowd and the vibe and pick people's energy up. And we built an entire Bread world, and we have Bob's Dance Shop, who are these amazing dancers who come on tour with us as well.
Can you give us some sneak peeks of what Bread World looks like?
It's sort of like this very abundant, fun, ridiculous, over-the-top, sexy, playful world.
Opulence.
Yeah.
And I understand that you're also touring with Kygo.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Is it the same show?
That's going to be a similar show. That's in Europe after the North American tour. And before that, we're actually doing also with J Balvin in a few weeks in Australia, New Zealand.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just live shows for us through the rest of the year, besides a few residency dates in Las Vegas.
Okay. You walk into a bakery, every type of bread is available. What type of bread do you choose?
Can I tell you the most ironic thing?
Are you allergic to gluten?
We're both gluten-free.
Yeah. However, we're connoisseurs of gluten-free bread.
True.
And in Europe, none of the rules count.
Yeah, gluten doesn't, we're not celiac, we're just
We're not celiac.
gluten-free.
So you could eat European bread?
Yes.
It really
Okay.
doesn't
Literally,
bother me
it doesn't
that
bother
much.
me at all.
So you're in Paris, you walk into a Parisian bakery. What do you grab first?
Croissant.
For sure.
People gather all the time around bread to break bread together, different points of view, people from different backgrounds and cultures. And like, these are all things we want our music to do, is bring people together. We're bringing cultures together with the music. Like,
And bread gives you pure energy.
and bread gives you energy.
And that's what we want our music to do for people.
So we made an acronym out of bread also, which is be really energetic and dance, which is simple, to the point, just like bread. If you want to go deeper, there's many things, as we've talked about. But if you don't, and you just think it's kind of fun, and it's called bread, and you want to dance and have fun and not think too hard, we're here for you too.
Thank you, guys.
It was great.